Beginning, The Stranger on the Dying Moon. The first time I saw the Empress of the Veiltheri Dominion, she was surrounded by enough warships to darken a star. I, on the other hand, was stranded on a dying moon with a broken transmitter and 6 days of oxygen left. The moon was called Kepri 9, if you could call it a moon. It was more of a fractured rock caught in the gravity well of a collapsing gas giant. Lightning storms crawled endlessly across the sky, illuminating the debris fields that orbited like metallic vultures. I had crash-landed there after my cargo freighter was caught in a Veiltheri blockade. The Veiltheri were not known for mercy. They were conquerors, architects of extinction. Their fleets did not negotiate, they harvested. Entire civilizations had vanished beneath their crystalline armadas. The galaxy called them beautiful monsters. And their ruler, the Empress Nixera, was said to be the most terrifying being alive. Which is why, when the sky split open and her flagship descended like a falling star, I assumed I was about to die. Her warships arranged themselves above the horizon in perfect formation. No wasted motion. No chaotic chatter. They moved like a single organism. Then the air changed. A beam of pale violet light struck the surface 50 meters from my crash site. The dust lifted in spirals. Space itself seemed to ripple. And she stepped through. She was taller than any human, her figure wrapped in living armor that shimmered like liquid glass. Crown-like spines arched behind her head, faintly glowing. Her skin held the faint luminescence of a distant nebula. Her eyes were silver. No pupils, no iris. Just starlight contained in flesh. Behind her stood soldiers armed with weapons that hummed with restrained annihilation. I raised my hand slowly. "I don't have anything worth conquering," I called out. She didn't respond. Instead, she walked toward me. Each step was deliberate, controlled. The ground beneath her feet crystallized briefly before returning to dust. The soldiers remained behind. When she stopped in front of me, the air felt heavier. She tilted her head slightly. And then something impossible happened. The most feared ruler in the known galaxy dropped to one knee before me. Her soldiers reacted instantly. Some raised weapons, others stiffened in visible shock, but none fired. The Empress bowed her head. And in a voice that sounded like a choir layered over thunder, she said, "At last, I have found you." Middle. The weight of a forgotten promise. For several long seconds, I thought I had misheard her. "Found me," I repeated. She lifted her gaze, and though her expression was composed, something ancient stirred in those silver eyes. "You carry the resonance," she said. "The final echo of the Pact Maker." "I think you've got the wrong human," I replied weakly. Her soldiers shifted uncomfortably, their weapons still trained outward, scanning for threats. But none seemed directed at me. The Empress rose slowly, though her posture remained deferential. "You are unaware," she murmured. "Then history has been buried deeper than I feared." Before I could protest further, she extended her hand. "May I?" I hesitated. Everything in my survival instincts screamed not to touch the ruler of a genocidal empire. But I was stranded, dying, and she had just knelt before me. I placed my hand in hers. The world shattered, not physically but inside my mind. Stars exploded across my vision. Galaxies spiraled into being and died in seconds. Voices echoed in languages older than planetary crusts. And then I saw him. Human. Not me, but someone wearing an ancient Earth uniform, standing before a towering Veiltheri figure thousands of years ago. The Veiltheri were different then. Less armored, less severe. Their eyes still held warmth. The human extended his hand in peace. I cannot match your strength, the man said. But humanity offers something you do not possess. And what is that? The ancient Veiltheri ruler asked. Restraint. The vision shifted. A pact was formed, not of conquest but of balance. The Veiltheri would defend the galaxy from external threats beyond known space. In exchange, they would never dominate the civilizations within it. The humans sealed it not with technology but with something else, something embedded in his biology. A genetic key. Failsafe. Pact maker. Then betrayal. The Veiltheri ruler was assassinated. Factions rose. The pact was hidden, rewritten as myth. The Dominion was born from blood instead of balance. The vision collapsed. I stumbled back, gasping. The Empress watched me carefully. You see it now. That was thousands of years ago, I whispered. Yes. And you're saying I'm what? His descendant. Not by blood alone, she replied. By design. My pulse pounded. The pact maker altered his lineage. Embedded within it was a biological resonance. An authority trigger. Should the Dominion ever abandon its oath, his descendant would possess the power to command the throne. I laughed nervously. That's insane. Perhaps, she said softly. But when our fleets entered this system, your presence activated the throne core. The what? She gestured skyward. Her flagship pulsed faintly. The central consciousness that binds our empire. It recognized you. I stared at her. You're telling me your empire's supreme AI thinks I'm your boss? A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched her lips. Yes. The empire fractures. Her soldiers were not pleased. Within hours, I was aboard her flagship, a structure of living crystal and adaptive architecture. It felt less like a ship and more like a cathedral grown in zero gravity. Word had spread quickly. The Empress had knelt before a human. Some saw it as prophecy fulfilled. Others saw it as weakness. And weakness in the Dominion was answered with violence. Admiral Kael'thor was the first to challenge it. He stood nearly as tall as the Empress, his armor darker, edged in crimson energy. This human is a biological anomaly, he declared before the assembled High Council. A relic of superstition. The chamber pulsed with murmurs. I stood beside the Empress, acutely aware that I was vastly underqualified for galactic politics. The throne core has spoken, Nyxera replied evenly. The throne core can be overridden. Silence. That was a dangerous statement. The Empress's eyes narrowed. Careful, Admiral. But he continued. We have built this empire through strength, through decisive conquest. And you would surrender authority to a stranded alien scavenger. I leaned toward her. Alien scavenger. You were found dismantling your own vessel for survival, she whispered back. Fair. The Admiral stepped forward. If the human carries authority, let him prove it. Let him command the core directly. The chamber darkened. At its center, a column of light erupted. An interface to the throne core. Nyxera looked at me. You do not have to do this. I swallowed. What happens if I fail? Civil war. Encouraging. I stepped toward the light. It enveloped me instantly. The core was not like the vision earlier. It was structured. A lattice of thought spanning fleets and worlds. A voice resonated within it. Pact maker lineage confirmed. Gasps echoed in the chamber. Dominion deviation. 87%. Oath violation threshold exceeded. Images flooded my mind. Planets burning, species enslaved, star systems stripped for resources. Rage stirred in me not because of destiny but because it was wrong. I spoke without fully understanding how. The pact was for protection, not domination. The core pulsed. Directive awaiting confirmation. I hesitated. This was absurd. I was a cargo pilot, not a ruler. But I remembered the vision. The original human offering restraint. And I understood something. Power wasn't about control. It was about choice. Restore the original mandate, I said clearly. The Dominion will defend, not conquer. The core flared with blinding intensity. Across the fleet, weapons systems powered down. Conquest protocols disengaged. Admiral Thor roared in fury. You doom us. But the core responded. Empress recognized. Human authority validated. Oath restored. The chamber fell silent. Nixera turned to face her people. The Dominion returns to its purpose. Some knelt. Others stormed out. The fracture had begun. Rebellion among the stars. Thor did not wait long. Within days, nearly a third of the fleet broke formation, jumping to hyperspace under his command. They would not accept the loss of supremacy. They will build a rival empire, Nixera said quietly as we stood before the observation window. One born entirely of war. And they'll blame you, I said. They already do. I looked at her. Why did you kneel? She was silent for a long moment. Because I knew, she finally said. Before the core confirmed it. I felt the resonance when I first saw you. That's not what I meant. Her silver gaze met mine. I have ruled through fear, she admitted. I inherited an empire steeped in blood. But I have always questioned. Then why continue it? Because to stop alone would mean assassination. That made sense. So you needed me. Yes. There was no manipulation in her tone. Just truth. The rebel fleet began its assault 3 weeks later. Worlds loyal to the restored oath were targeted first. Thor broadcast a message across open channels. The Dominion has been corrupted by alien influence. We reclaim our destiny. War erupted. But it was different this time. The loyal fleet fought defensively, shielding planets, evacuating civilians, disabling rather than destroying. It was harder, more dangerous, but it changed something. Species who had once feared the Veiltheri began sending aid. Intelligence, supplies. Hope spread faster than fear ever had. In the final confrontation, the rebel flagship faced us above a binary star system. Thor demanded single combat. With the human, he insisted. That's ridiculous, I muttered. Nixera's expression was unreadable. He will not accept fleet defeat without spectacle. I looked at her. Can I even survive one of your people in combat? No, she said honestly. Great. She stepped closer. But you will not face him alone. The final stand. The Duel platform extended from both flagships, suspended between twin stars. Thor emerged clad in full battle regalia, energy blades humming at his wrists. I stepped forward in what could generously be described as reinforced human armor. This is symbolic, I whispered to Nixera before stepping onto the platform. Yes, she replied. Symbols shape empires. Thor attacked immediately. He was faster than anything I'd ever seen. I barely dodged the first strike. The second would have killed me, but Nixera intercepted it. Gasps rippled across both fleets. This duel is mine. Thor snarled. Nixera stood between us. The human represents the oath. I represent its will. They clashed with the force of colliding suns. Their movements were blinding, energy flaring with each impact. I realized then that this was never about me proving strength. It was about her choosing it. The battle was brutal. Kael'thor fought with fury. Nyxera fought with purpose. In the end, purpose prevailed. She disarmed him, driving him to his knees. He looked up at her, disbelief etched across alien features. You would choose weakness. She shook her head. I choose balance. With a precise strike, she disabled his armor and signaled his capture. The rebel fleet, witnessing their leader defeated, powered down. The war ended not with annihilation, but surrender, ending a new mandate. Months later, the Dominion was unrecognizable. Military outposts became protective bastions. Resource harvesters were repurposed to rebuild worlds once damaged by Veiltheri expansion. The galaxy watched cautiously, but gradually trust formed. I stood once more on Kepri 9, the moon where this madness began. Repairs had stabilized it into a research outpost. Nyxera joined me. You could remain, she said softly. As co-regent, the core recognizes you fully. I shook my head. I was never meant to rule. But you changed everything. No, I replied. You did. I was just the reminder. She studied me carefully. Where will you go? Back to being a cargo pilot, hopefully. Maybe less crash landings. Faint smile. You will always carry authority here. And you'll always carry the choice. She stepped back slightly. And once more before departing, she knelt. Not out of obligation. Not because of prophecy. But out of respect. Humanity gave us restraint, she said. You gave us the courage to use it. I extended my hand, helping her rise. No more kneeling, I said. She considered that. Very well, ally. Her fleet ascended into the stars, not as conquerors but as guardians. And I watched them go, a stranger no longer. The galaxy had feared the alien empress. But history would remember the day she knelt and chose something greater than power.